So it looks like Xbox could be phasing out some of the current models of the Xbox Series X as well as the Xbox Series S. This is something that some people are sort of talking about right now. Take it with a grain of salt for this particular moment, but we are seeing a lot of things where it looks like maybe they're clearing out stock of the Xbox Series S, the current model, and the Xbox Series X. Now, this is not something that's totally unprecedented, as we've seen Sony do this kind of before as well with their current, like the launch edition or whatever. And it's a very interesting thing to see because, Microsoft obviously has more hardware in the pipeline, but it doesn't look like they're going to be doing a Pro model or anything like that. So it does indeed seem like the Pro model is going to be the Series X, which, obviously we already have. And, listen, I feel like, with Microsoft possibly dropping a brand new console very soon, reportedly dropping new hardware later this year, June, July, all digital, despite the fact that Phil was just on record saying they will continue to support physical media. How can you support physical media if you're only dropping a digital console and you'll have two digital consoles and you're phasing out completely the current Xbox Series X? This isn't the first time that we've actually heard about this console, which will supposedly be white and digital only, with a few extra bells and whistles added. We heard about something, but this was a cylindrical one that we heard about, the FTC trial, and Phil Spencer said that, plans have changed and things like that. So I think that we probably will get the new controller, and that should help a little bit with some of the issues. But, at the end of the day, I feel like Microsoft has a lot of things going for them wrong right now. Instead of having a lot of momentum and a lot of things like that, like they should, this should be a year where Xbox really starts taking off, but they've kind of got this weird situation where, they tell people you don't need an Xbox and people haven't bought an Xbox. It's like, it just kind of is what it is, where I think the better way to do that is you still try to sell people on your Xbox, but you have these other ways that you can play as well, because Sony is doing that. Right, and Sony still managed to sell a lot of consoles. So the new Xbox is going to be slightly smaller and be more affordable option for you if you want to kind of have that affordable way to play with an Xbox. Like I said, and I just said this in a different video, an improved heatsink as well as a new Nexus card, and it's going to be, of course, white. Again, I'm not sure how that's going to really go in terms of what people are going to kind of run out and buy that. Like, I think already, they have a lot going against it. While some Xbox exclusive games are clearly being ported to other consoles, Phil Spencer did say they're going to continue to make consoles, but I think that it's just a weird thing to do because you have, this group of people who maybe want a console. So, the other thing is, you see, Sony lowered the price of their PS5. I think it might have been the launch edition PS5s. And so Xbox did the same thing, cutting price on theirs as well. You can pick up even in like the UK and stuff, which is pretty rare. So anyway, apparently faced with the prospect of watching the PlayStation rocket up the sales chart again, Xbox has responded with the latest price crash of its own. You can benefit from the same 15% off as PlayStation fans did with the PS5. Again, is that going to be something that realistically helps Microsoft? I don't know, because it feels to me like Microsoft needs to have a console that's pretty much on par with what PlayStation does, but it has to be, a couple $100 cheaper, right? We did see some sales. Apparently, Microsoft got like $1 million in sales over December, but the Xbox Series X was $350, and the PS5 was $500. So, $150 less. And finally, some people bought it, but still, more people bought the PlayStation 5. So it does look like they could be phasing out completely. It's not a bad thing. They're still making hardware, guys. But it does look like they're possibly phasing out the Xbox Series S, the white one, and the Series X. Maybe they're going to have hardware refreshes or whatever. I don't know, but we'll see how that works. I feel like Microsoft. I don't know what they're thinking, but clearly they have some kind of idea about what they're thinking, and we'll see how that kind of pans out at the end of the day. We've seen the actual. What's interesting is the Series S, mind you. We've seen like some of the lowest prices we've ever seen with that, so I find that to be very interesting. They were selling the bundles at Target and other places as well, for $219, right? And that's with 3 months of Game Pass. So 3 months of Game Pass, that card is $45 by itself. So that's why I found that was kind of interesting, to be honest with you. Seeing that kind of crop up the way that it did. Hey, here's Game Pass. If you take away the $45, you can get this thing for about 270 or about $170, $165. So they're basically, to me anyway, it seems like they're kind of clearing off some stock, trying to kind of get ready for the future, whatever that may be. I think we're probably going to see something announced at their showcase or whatever. The interesting thing about this is, like you see it, I'm heavy on Twitter and stuff like that. So the thing that I thought was very interesting was a lot of people in the comments say, they're still not going to buy one, right? Like, I mean, I guess I get it. People are really into the PlayStation, I suppose. I don't really know. Like, I think the Series S is it's the cheapest way to play Starfield. It's the cheapest way to play, it's going to be the cheapest way to play Grand Theft Auto 6 when it comes out next year. It's going to be the cheapest way to play Call of Duty, or, that's going to be in Game Pass, or Diablo for 200 and some change. You can play freaking Diablo and Call of Duty and, all these games. So yeah, like, to me, I don't understand the outright hate for it. Even if you think Xbox sucks or whatever, at least for a few years, this thing's going to be a viable way to play current gen games, including like the Xbox stuff. Even if the Xbox stuff comes to PlayStation, right? Like, at first it's not. So, if you want to play Indiana Jones, Avowed, Hellblade 2, whatever the case may be, the best place and the cheapest place to do that is going to be through a Series S. So why not just pick one up? You know what I mean? So it does seem like they're pushing out the stock or whatever they're replacing it. They're probably replacing it with something with more memory or whatever. And, that makes sense to me because, you need to have, in this day and age, you have a console with no, absolutely zero disk drive, and it means you have to download all your games, right? So you're downloading your games, and, you have like, what is it, 500 gigs or whatever. Like, that's not enough. I think in both of those there should be a mandatory 2 terabyte, but you could probably get away with 1. I don't know. But what do you guys think about this? It does sound like phasing out the old. Would you pick up a newer version of this? I'm always curious to see what people think about that. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll link this in the description. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.